Hello world, here I am again. And today I want to talk about a very interesting topic, and that is the power of course correction. And sometimes it happens that we believe we want something a certain way, and then once we experience it, we actually realize that it's absolutely not what we wanted and that it's not a good fit. And in that situation, we do have choices. So let me tell you a little story around that. One of the biggest course corrections I did in my life was right after high school. In high school, I absolutely loved political science and international relations, so I was so sure that I wanted to study political science after completing high school. Then I got admitted to a really great university, and I was like, yeah, I did it, I'm living my dream. Then when I got there, I actually hated it. I don't know, I just couldn't settle in. I couldn't get used to the way everything for me felt like theory and far removed from reality. And I felt everyone was feeling so important. And, those were my very personal experiences, how I felt. And pretty soon after starting, I knew that I was unhappy. And that time I did my course correction process, of course, in a very unconscious way, but I somehow moved through it. It wasn't easy, but at some point when I got so unhappy, I just, despite all the fears that came up, saying like, oh my God, what will my family say? What will my friends say? What will the lecturer say? I got this opportunity and now I'm throwing it away. I was very frustrated with myself, like, I wanted this, why is it not working for me now? So once I got through all that and I got to a point where I realized, no, I don't want to stay in this unhappy space, I spoke to my mom and said like, hey mom, I want to quit, and actually I want to move to a different country. So that was like a huge course correction I did, and it's the beginning of the story of how I moved to Kenya and made Nairobi my home, which was one of the best decisions I made in my life, actually, because so many new doors opened when I had the courage to step out of my unhappy space, do a course correction, and, went down a very different path. So I'd like to break down this process a little. So when we realize something is not working, first of all our fears show up. And remember, fears are there to keep us safe. They actually don't mean any harm. They just want us to survive. And they think, okay, comfort zone, what we know, even though it might not be a fit and we might not be happy, is at least a zone where we can survive. And that's why fears will show up when you start to think about, oh, this is not working, should I change something? So the more aware we are of those fears, the better we can keep them under control. And then, of course, we do have a choice. We have the choice to not do anything and just stay in that space. We have the choice to change our perspective about the whole situation. Or we have the choice to do a bigger course correction, like in my case then was moving to another country altogether. So once we realize we have the choice, we can have an internal conversation, so to speak, really along the lines of, hey, this is not working for you, you are unhappy, and we all know self-care should come first, because if we want to have like a positive impact on the surrounding world, sorry, that was my speaker in case you heard something. So if we want to have a positive impact on the world around us, we first have to take care of our own happiness, because only if we are in a good space can we create good space around us. So you are not happy, what do you want to do about it? And there it's important that you are aware of what type of personality you are when it comes to making decisions. Are you an analytical type? Then it makes sense for you to collect like pros and cons and really have some facts ready. That give you the feeling that, okay, I'm basing my decision on some data. If you are the gut feeling or the physical sensation type like me, then just really tune into how you feel physically and in your gut when you think about the different options that you have. Or you might be the intuition, sort of thinking meditation type, in the sense that you just need to sit down in a quiet spot and let the thoughts calm and see what is the predominant, like the main thought that pops up. What do you want to do? So the more aware we are of how we function in terms of making decisions, the easier it also gets to make that step towards course correction or not course correction. And then once you have decided to go for course correction, actually declare it in front of someone who's relevant to you. Because once we speak out the words, it becomes like a declaration of, I want to change something, and breaking down the barriers that might come after that along the way will be easier once we have like openly communicated what we want. So take that step to make it sort of a firmer decision, and to help you move through any resistance that might come up. And one note on course correction. My business mentor actually, when I started out as an entrepreneur, told me that would be one of the things he would absolutely change if he were to start out again as a business person. Because he said, like, course correction is super powerful. It actually takes you to where you want to be much faster if you make it a part of your routine, regularly checking in. Is something not working? Is something feeling off? Why is that? And what do I want to do about it? How do I want to correct my course? So let go of the old common beliefs that, sometimes we need to stick things out and only then are we dedicated and hardworking human beings. No, in certain situations, course correction is actually the only real choice that you have if you want to move towards being a real leader in your life and finding your happiness and having a great impact out there. So I hope this was helpful. Speak soon.